Sometimes I feel this sort of feels like deja vu. I've traveled across this entire country in the last 4 or 5 months, speaking to very esteemed colleagues and academics everywhere. And one of the things that I've noted while I traveled across Balochistan and AJK and Baltistan and then Skardu, and then I ended up in Punjab on the same trip, and then finally back in Islamabad, is that the hard work that academics are doing across this country is often in silence. And I have met academics in universities across this country who are working on public sector salaries, yet putting together a fund to help students study who do not have the means to do so. And I believe that is something that is extremely inspiring, and something that also talks about the shortcomings in our country when it comes to policy. That why is it that we have to do something like this when the single most important thing that we have as an asset in this country is our young students and the faculty members who are teaching them. Now, one of the things that I also noted was that I feel the role of teachers and the profession of teaching is not given enough respect. And that respect is due to the individuals who are giving their life to teaching Pakistan's future generations. And I think that is something that we all have to inspire towards and make sure that that respect is given to this profession. It is not a profession that in a lot of places where I've heard from people, they've been told that, you might be a master sub or you might not have been successful in something else. But this society and this country needs to know that the hardest job that you could possibly do is to teach. And the toughest credentials that you require to become, for example, a professor one day is a PhD with several publications, up to 15 in noted journals, as well as 15 years of experience in teaching. And that is no mean feat. And I think that is where our shortcoming is, and that is where we should all now inspire to move towards. The other thing is that our women universities, the ones that are similar to Fatma Jinnah Women University, are at the forefront of empowering women. This isn't now about, say, women not having the opportunity to study because of some cultural, stopgap that doesn't allow them to go to a co-educational university. That is changing all over the country. People come to these universities and women come to these universities because of the excellence in the educational standards. And that's something that we should be looking for. And the other is that they should have the opportunity to also train to be administrators, to be leaders in the academic professions. One of the harrowing things or the sad things about moving across this country is that in many universities, women are not given those opportunities to take on leadership roles, despite having the same credentials. You'll have people come up and say, this is Dr. Hassan or Dr. Kadir, and then suddenly when it is time to introduce a woman, they remove that title from them as well. And these are things that need to change, and they need to change through leadership action and affirmative action that has to come from universities such as yours, from leaders such as yours. Because the one thing I've seen is that women over there have all the credentials, but they've never had any role models. And so they are maybe the first to sit in these positions and try to come up in male-dominated universities. But if we can connect universities the way we've done so now, if Fatma Jinnah Women University could go and now speak to women across these universities and say Hazara or somewhere in Quetta or anywhere in Balochistan or Gilgit-Baltistan, that is where we can really make change. And we're hoping that partnerships such as these can now transition towards this. And we're hoping that the leadership skills that we've seen here and the immense experience that we have at universities such as Fatma Jinnah can really be at the forefront of this change. Since this is a closing ceremony, I would like to acknowledge the fact that this is a 3-day conference, but this program has been running for over a year. And it has been a very long program. And Fatma Jinnah has been working tirelessly across several fronts, including working with 3 women universities, which I believe they have now covered trainings for 45 faculty members and senior faculty members across 3 universities. So please give them a round of applause. And And the areas that they've been working in are critical to higher education and empowering teachers. For example, curriculum development and research. These are the two areas that are always ignored when we're looking at teacher trainings. We sometimes believe that because someone has a degree in, say, research, that automatically qualifies them to be a teacher. But that is not true. You have to work immensely hard to learn to be a teacher, because that in itself is a profession, and research is a separate profession, which is why we have been concentrating on trainings and certifications to enable teachers to do their best today. One of the things that I've heard about everywhere across this country when I'm talking to vice chancellors and senior academics is that they say that we are following a process of learning by doing. But the problem with that is that while, yes, your teachers over time will gain experience and will become excellent teachers, no doubt, but there are students on the way who are going through those classes and are not getting their best or the best of that teacher, which is why if we can, standardize this process of teacher certifications and trainings from day one before they walk into a classroom, you will have much better outcomes for your students, which is a priority of every university, which is why we're trying to run these programs across the country and to also push universities to develop programs in-house, because you all have that capacity. It is only about taking action now and ensuring that your teachers are trained prior to walking into those classrooms. Because with full respect, teachers deserve their own credit and students deserve their due as well in those classrooms. And so we're hoping that programs such as these can now take up a path of their own, and perhaps through funding of universities, through their own resources, we can develop this in-house. Other than that, I would just like to acknowledge the partner universities one more time, because this is the close. So first off, Rawalpindi Women University, then Government College Women University Sialkot, and the Women University Multan. To all the participants, please know that you will now be part of a much larger US government alumni network. You will begin gaining access to potential activities and grants opportunities through us over the next few months. When the entire program closes, you will all be inducted into that network, and from now on till then, and for the future, you will remain with us, and our relationship will only grow from here. And we're hoping through you, we'll be able to reach more and more academics and students across this country. Again, thank you very much for hosting us. Thank you for having USCFD and the US mission being a part of this program. And inshallah, we will look forward to more.